Hey, we want to take a second to thank our sponsors, our friends over at Marcus Theaters, the Palace Cinema here in Sun Prairie. It's truly the place to watch movies. Come in and be greeted by a friendly face when you enter. Come get your tickets. Then make sure to stop by the concession stand to get some delicious refreshments.
Here you go.
Thank you. Then settle into a dream lounger, sit back, relax, put your feet up, and enjoy the show. Hey, it's Real Reviews. Welcome to Real Reviews. My name is Jameson Rabbit, and this man sitting next to me, you know him. It's Steve Sabotke. Welcome back again, sir.
Happy end of summer.
It is the end of summer.
Yeah.
We're getting one last blast of summer right now.
Now's when the good stuff starts to come out.
You promise?
For the most part, yeah.
We were talking about movies that are coming out in the next month, and it's going to be overwhelming. We'll talk about the end of the show, but
Long list.
yes, it's good though. It's good because I don't want to spoil anything, but I don't think there's anything spectacular this month.
Well, one.
Okay, we're going to get into it. Let's dive right into it because we do have several movies to talk about this month. I believe we have 8 on the slate. So let's dive right into the first one, and I believe I'm going to be telling you about this one. It is Honey Don't. It is the newest film from director Ethan Coen, going solo once again. Stars Margaret Qualley as Honey O'Donoghue. Honey O'Donoghue is a detective. This is a detective noir set in a dusty small town forgotten by time. She is the hardscrabble private detective. She's called to the scene of a fatal car accident where she recognizes the dead driver as a prospective client who she was supposed to meet with that same day. After some digging, she discovers that this young woman, Mia, had joined a church cult called the Four-Way Temple, a cult that is led by the Reverend Drew Devlin, who is played by Chris Evans. And the good Reverend was like any other cult leader, using his power and influence for sex and to traffic drugs to the people of his town. And things begin to unravel for the holy man when people start turning up dead with connections to him. And Honey gets onto the trail of this after hooking up with her police contact, a lady named MG, played by Aubrey Plaza, MG Falcone. Together they get onto the trail of trying to find Honey's wayward niece, who she believes may have also joined this cult. And it's a lot of running around and introducing odd characters. But for me, all of this amounted to a whole lot of nothing.
Oh, yeah.
It has the feel of a Coen Brothers movie. Let's introduce odd characters,
Yeah.
wacky circumstances, let's have them doing things. But it was a whole lot of nothing, I thought. Opening credits, I love the opening credits. I thought they were really cool. How you kind of get to see
The
this
names
run
on the
downtown.
storefronts, yeah.
And then we get to meet these characters, especially Margaret Qualley, who I really like. I'm a sucker for a detective noir. But then nothing was used. Nothing was done with all of this.
Yeah, I mean, this could have been a really good movie, but it's a mess.
It really is.
There's a lot of moving parts here. They don't really fit together.
That's the thing. It feels like everyone in this movie is just running around without a purpose.
I mean, I kept waiting for something to come out, something to happen that would grab me and pique my interest, and where I would go, boy, I really want to know what's going on next, and that never happened.
Yeah.
Even every time there was, I guess, a plot twist, if you could call it that, I was disappointed because they didn't go anywhere.
No, it just meandered as a story.
I mean, you got two different stories going on here. You got the investigation by Honey, and then you got this thing going on with the church led by Chris Evans, who, by the way, plays a pretty good sleazeball.
I thought this was the best Chris Evans I've seen in a while.
But you're kind of left hanging with one of those stories, not to give anything away. And I thought the ending didn't make a lot of sense to me. I mean, I wanted more plot development. I wanted know more about the characters, especially Honey O'Donoghue.
Yep.
You don't really know anything about her. The movie's only about 90 minutes long, and I'm going to sound like a real prude here, but I wish Coen would have spent more time on the plot, more time on the characters, and less time on the extreme sex and violence.
Here's the thing.
There was a lot of it.
The Coen brothers as a unit are some of my favorite filmmakers.
Yes.
I mean, some of my favorite films.
Yes.
And now this one, I don't know if you saw Driveway Dolls. I believe it was last year.
No, this is like the first of a trilogy, I guess.
This movie has strong echoes of Driveway Dolls, which
Okay.
was also Ethan Coen's movie, that had the same thing of these two girls and these crazy characters chasing after them, but nothing happens in the entire movie. And as I'm watching this one, I said, wait, I've seen this happen before with the Ethan Coen movie. He introduces interesting characters and doesn't know how to write them. He doesn't know how to come up with a story structure or a narrative drive for any of his characters. And so they're all just left sitting there like, what do you want? What are we supposed to be doing? I love Charlie Day. He's an actor I love.
Yeah, I do too.
As the cop.
And I wish there would have been more
They didn't
with
give him
between
anything to
her
do.
and Margaret Qualley.
Yes.
Maybe teaming up on the investigation.
He was given nothing to do other than
It was
pine for a lady
just
who wasn't
one
into
joke. It was a one joke for him.
I love Aubrey Plaza. I thought she was a big miss here.
Yeah, she was.
Her dry wit is something I love, and it felt like she was really sleepwalking through this. And her dry wit was lacking the bite, and so it felt like she didn't want to be there.
Yeah.
And I felt the same way.
I think this would have been much better off as a kind of a limited streaming series.
Sure.
Where they could have given it the story more
If
time.
he could do something
he
with the
could-
story.
yeah.
Otherwise, it's really bad. Don't give me more of something I don't like.
That's right. I mean, the Coen brothers got to get back together and do
I agree.
something. You know, their last film was The Ballad of Buster Scruggs,
And yeah, that was an
2018.
anthology on Netflix during the pandemic.
The last great film they did together, in my opinion, was Inside Llewyn Davis, which was in 2013.
Time ago. That was before
Yeah.
this show even started.
Let's get back to something like
I
that.
agree. Wow. All right. We agree on this. What did you end up giving Honey Don't?
I gave it a generous 2 stars.
Yeah. I gave it a 2.5. Most of it was just because Chris Evans is so much fun. Margaret Qualley's good. I really like her.
Yeah,
she should be given more
I
to
didn't
do.
know she was the daughter of Andy McDowell.
Oh, yeah. Can't you see it? Oh,
Well,
she
now
looks just
I can,
like Mom. Yeah.
but I didn't know that.
I like her better than Andy McDowell. Much more talented. All right, let's move on to another kind of wacky, fun-paced adventure we have. What do we have?
We're talking Caught Stealing.
That's right.
Directed by Darren Aronofsky, starring Austin Butler. He plays Hank, a former star baseball player turned bartender who looks like he works in the dumpiest bar in the seediest part of New York. I mean, it looks so awful. I thought I was watching Escape from New York. Hanks was a top baseball prospect on his way to the big leagues when something tragic happened that derailed his dream. You see flashbacks of that throughout the movie. Now he's working in this bar. He drinks a lot. He follows his favorite team, the Giants. He calls his mom every day. And he's with his girlfriend, played by Zoe Kravitz, who, by the way, is not given a whole heck of a lot to do in this movie. One day, his British punk neighbor, Russ, played by Matt Smith, tells Hank he has to go to London to see his sick father, and he asks Hank to watch his cat. Now, is that what really is happening here? Of course not. Hank's mixed up in some dirty dealings, and or I should say, Russ is mixed up in dirty dealings, and Russ has something that is wanted by a bunch of people, including a couple of Russian mobsters, led by their boss, played by Bad Bunny.
Yeah.
Two Hasidic assassin brothers, played by Liv Schreiber and Vincent D'Onofrio. Good luck trying to recognize them.
Yeah.
And the police, led by Regina King, and of course mayhem ensues, and along the way a number of people get hurt and some get killed. Mm-hmm. So Darren Aronofsky, his resume includes a number of heavy films with some very complex characters. Requiem for a Dream, The Wrestler, Black Swan, The Whale. This movie is not one of them. It seemed to me that Aronofsky decided to take a break from doing that and come up with and do something that was easy not all that original.
This felt to me like this was Darren Aronofsky channeling Guy Ritchie.
Yeah.
Like, let's get all these characters and crazy accents and all kinds of things going on, and we'll just throw them into a soup bowl and see what happens. And I dug it. I had fun with it.
Did you really?
Look, first off, I'm not a big Austin Butler guy. Despite all his success so far, I liked him in this. He's the most unlikely guy that can play a regular guy to me. With his looks and charm, and I bought him as just a regular down on his luck guy who,
But
everything bad happens
it's
to in
not
this.
a regular guy. I mean, he's playing this James Dean-like loner
Right, but
anti-action
he's a
hero.
loser alcoholic whose girlfriend left him and comes back because he's in a bad spot.
And you know he can play it very well. He's done it before, but I think it's now time for him to do something more challenging. But, I mean, how many times have we seen this kind of a plot?
Every Guy Ritchie movie.
Yeah, average guy, minds his own business, gets stuck in something he has nothing to do with. Everybody's after him. He's into something bad now,
Yep.
and how's he going to get out of it?
I think the difference is this cast had me. D'Onofrio and Liev Schreiber I thought were great when they enter in the third act as the Jewish hitmen. I love Regina King. I liked her motivations in this movie. I really wish we could have gotten more Zoe Kravitz to do in this movie. That felt like it was rough. But I really like a nice, dark, really dark comedy with lots of great character actors in it.
Well,
it's very different than Aronofsky's Mother. I mean,
which I did
a lot
not
more
see,
lighthearted than that.
which I read about.
Nightmare of a movie.
What really turned me off is there's always that scene where you got a lot going on, and then you have this scene where one of the characters has to explain what's going on.
We need exposition.
Okay,
Yep.
Here's why you're in the situation that you're in. And in this case, they leave it up to Russ. And is it Russ? Yeah, Russ.
Matt Smith, yeah.
Okay. The British guy.
Yep.
And he's telling Austin Butler what's going on and why these things are happening. And he rushes through the narrative in this really thick
You can barely understand him.
British accent. I mean, I wanted to yell to the projection room, please rewind this.
He was doing a Sid Vicious impersonation.
Because I couldn't understand what he was saying.
Yeah. I get that.
And you know me, I mean, I hate it when kids are in peril.
Yeah.
I hate it even more when pets are in peril.
I know that
and
too.
that's all I'm going to say.
I know that.
But it was another strike against this film.
All right. What did you end up giving Caught Stealing?
1.5 stars.
Wow, we're way off.
It stole a little over 90 minutes of my life.
I'm on the opposite end of the spectrum. I give it 3.5. I love a good adventure with some fun characters in it. Yeah.
I didn't even think there were no fun characters.
Yes, they all were. They're all chasing after each other, trying to kill each other. Bad Bunny leading a Russian mob is great to me. I'm in. Give me more of that. All right. Let's move on to a movie that I saw that I think you would have enjoyed. And that is The Toxic Avenger.
No.
2025 Toxic Avenger from director Macon Blair.
Toxic Avenger unrated.
Yes, of course. You cannot rate The Toxic Avenger. I'm going to try to. This serves as a remake of the 1984 classic, one of the great Troma feats, 1984's Toxic Avenger. This one stars Peter Dinklage as Winston Goose is his name. He is struggling to support his stepson Wade, who's played by Jacob Tremblay, and feels shamed when he doesn't help a neighbor in need as she's being threatened by a goon, and he feels, Peter Dinklage in his stature and then in his place in life, he just feels like he's letting his stepson down. He's a janitor at BTH, which is the big pharmaceutical company that is releasing toxic waste into St. Roma. And he's also discovered that he has an advanced brain disease, and the only medication to save his life isn't covered by his insurance, of course. And so, desperate to survive, he steals money from his employer with the help of a mop that is covered in toxic sludge. And when he's discovered after stealing this money by the goons known as the Killer Nuts, a violent gang and rap rock group, they shoot him and dump his body into a vat of toxic waste. Well, that's not the end of the movie. That's just the beginning. Of course, that only revives him and turns him into a mutant on a mission. Winston still, despite turning into Toxie, only wants to take care of Wade, and despite his grotesque exterior, is determined to show his freaked out stepson who he is on the inside. And he teams up with JJ, a whistleblower played by Taylor Page, who also worked at BTH, and is also being hunted by the goons. And together they seek revenge on those who terrorize this town of Troma. It's a gory, over-the-top adventure in classic Troma fashion. It's super campy. It's full of laughs. It's outrageous scenarios and even more outrageous kills. Only in this incarnation as opposed to the 84 one, which is super low budget, super over the top, very campy. This one, it's got some heart to the inside because you have good actors. You have Peter Dinklage and Jacob Tremblay in these roles as opposed to random guy number 1 and number 2. And so there is some heart to these characters. And Toxie is already a cool hero with heart. And going into this, I was worried that a studio version of a trauma movie, cult film, wondering what that would look like when you try and gloss it up too much. Thankfully, they did a good job of capturing the essence of Toxic Avenger, and they didn't class it up too much. They really embraced what it should be. And I was in there with a fairly sold-out crowd who was all there to celebrate and cheer with every grotesque killing and mangling in this movie. And I was pleasantly surprised how much I enjoyed this movie. I was looking around for you. I thought I heard your laugh in the background at one point. I was like, oh, Steve's not here. You would have loved it. I mean, when a radioactive mop just melts a guy's head in half into a horseshoe, you don't like that?
No.
All right.
Were you eating popcorn at the time?
I'm just shoveling it in as fast as I could because this is good stuff. And so I think if you're a fan of the original, this is the 5th in the franchise, but it's a remake of the original. I think you'll enjoy it, no fear. And if you're not, I still recommend you go enjoy it because I had a lot of fun. It's a good version of this movie. And I gave The Toxic Avenger 3.5 stars.
Okay.
It is so much fun. I can't wait for this to come out.
Take your word
I am
for
going
it.
to be getting the Criterion edition of this.
You what?
I'm going to get the Criterion. There's not going to be a Criterion edition of this. Stop it. Anyways. All right, let's move on. What do you have for us, sir?
The Roses,
Yes.
directed by Jay Roach. This is a remake of the 1989 film War of the Roses, which starred Michael Douglas, Kathleen Turner, and Danny DeVito. And in this version, the couple is played by Benedict Cumberbatch and Olivia Colman. Cumberbatch plays Theo, an architect. Colman plays Ivy, a chef. They meet, they move to California, they marry, they have a couple of kids. Everything seems to be going great. Well, at least for Theo at the start, he's on his way to becoming a world-renowned architect after designing and building a naval history museum, while Ivy's dream of owning and operating her own successful restaurant gets off to a very slow start. But everything changes when a storm hits and destroys not only the museum, but also Theo's dreams. And a food critic seeks shelter in Ivy's restaurant during the storm, and he loves the food. So the roles are reversed, and the marriage begins to unravel as Theo is forced to become a stay-at-home dad. Ivy's on her way to quickly. It's amazing how quickly she becomes a top chef, world-renowned. However, Ivy begins to feel shut out from her kids' lives while Theo becomes jealous of Ivy's success. Let the resentment and the fighting begin. When the War of the Roses first came out, I remember seeing it in theater. It was marketed on the premise that if you loved Douglas and Turner and Romancing the Stone,
Jewel of the Nile,
you're
and
gonna,
Danny DeVito, the three of them went movie to movie.
You're going to love them in this movie, and I hated that movie.
Oh, wow.
I did.
I love that movie.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, to see Michael Douglas and Kathleen Turner bicker and scream at each other for a couple of hours, it was not my idea of fun, and I don't think they've started a movie since then.
Well, Kathleen Turner didn't do a whole lot after that.
No. Well, she did Friends.
This is true.
Yeah. Benedict Cumberbatch and Olivia Colman, they're great actors.
Yeah.
And to see these two British stars trade barbs and insults, it was fun at first, but then it got old. And it got really old really fast, and it got to be real tiring. I mean, these two can do comedy. We know that.
Yep.
And they can do it well, but boy, they deserve a much better one than this.
You know, it's funny, too, because you say, comedy, and Kate McKinnon and Andy Samberg are in here as their friends, and I like Kate McKinnon a lot. I liked her when she was in the movie. She wasn't in it very much.
No.
Andy Samberg was given really nothing to do in this movie. Allison Janney also shows up as the lawyer.
Real
You're like, okay,
Real
here we go.
Yeah.
And she isn't given a whole lot. So I rewatched the original before this. My wife and I watched it. I enjoy that. I love that trio a lot in all of their films, especially I love the Danny DeVito portion of the movie. He's great as kind of the comedic foil. They were missing that massively in this movie. They were missing that character. This one felt really tame. The first one also, it gets the bickering starts and it gets ramped up fairly early. This movie felt like it took forever to get to the War of the Roses.
To get to the fighting.
And then by the time we got there, it's like, we got to run to the end now. Olivia Colman, yes, overnight. I don't know the time period. It felt like within 6 months she was opening like 7 more restaurants.
Yeah. I thought, wow, this is fast.
So, I mean, I enjoy this cast. The combo of Coleman and Cumberbatch kind of guarantees a level of quality. Their chemistry works. They're overqualified for this movie, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Those two are so overqualified to make this movie.
Definitely.
I wanted more chaos in this movie. I feel like if you're comparing the two movies, for me, this is lacking some things. I enjoyed the snark. I enjoyed them together. I'll watch the original again rather than come back to this one. I look at my score and I'm not sure what I did.
Well, the supporting actors, they don't contribute anything.
No,
to
but
this.
in the trailers, I was very excited by the Kate McKinnon, Andy Samberg edition, assuming that one of them would be playing. Samberg would be playing the DeVito role as the lawyer, and that wasn't the case. They were just kind of friends.
Yeah, I mean,
Kate McKinnon just kind of wanted to make things uncomfortable.
They're just there to witness what's going on. I mean, the kids didn't even seem real to me. I mean, at one point,
I can't even picture the kids in my head right now.
No, at one point they're congratulating their parents on getting a divorce.
Yeah.
Come on.
Well, if it's getting that bad that they're blowing things up, maybe time. Yeah. All right.
I mean, I even though I wanted and even though I wanted this movie to end, I hated the ending. The ending.
I did as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I'm curious what your score is. 1 star.
1 star.
So I put in my score a while ago. And as I wrote my review, I just realized I never adjusted what my score was, despite going over it recently. Because my score and my review don't match. I gave it 3, I guess.
3? What? That doesn't seem right.
It doesn't from what I said, does it?
You want to change your mind?
Yeah, that is what it is. It's locked in now.
Okay.
Go to my letterbox if you want to see a change.
You must have been in a good mood when you saw it.
That's kind of weird. Anyways, it happens. All right, let's move on to another remake of an original movie. There's a lot of these this month. We have Spike Lee's Highest to Lowest, starring Denzel Washington. It's a Spike Lee adaptation of the 1959 Akira Kurosawa film High and Low. Denzel stars as David King. He's a record executive in New York City who is angling to gather enough investors' money to purchase a controlling stake in the label that he is part of. He's powerful, he's wealthy, lives in a penthouse overlooking the city. He's a man with a vision, but more importantly, a heart for the music and the musicians. He's fighting the trend of AI in music. He's about the soul and the culture of the music, and he wants to have this company to pass on to his son, Trey. But to do so, he has to mortgage everything he owns in order to scrap together just enough money to get this deal done. But just before he's able to pull off the deal, he gets a troubling phone call. His son Trey has been kidnapped and is being ransomed for $17.5 million. And the police obviously get involved. The money is being gathered together. We have to pay the ransom to get my son back. When suddenly, Trey is found alive. Hallelujah! But wait a minute. It turns out that the kidnapper accidentally grabbed the son of King's chauffeur and friend, Paul Christopher, played by Jeffrey Wright. And so this sets up a moral dilemma. The kidnapper doesn't care. He still wants his money for the boy's life. Does King pay the money to free this other man's son and in turn lose everything he has? Or does he say no to the kidnapper? And the story kind of hinges on you caring about the moral dilemma and the man being faced with it. And there are twists and turns that kind of test the morality of a man. In the original, it was Mashiro Tofune as a shoe company executive faced with this same problem.
Did you see the original?
I've seen the original several times, yeah.
All right.
The major differences between the two, in the original, there wasn't really a strong bond between the executive and his chauffeur. In this telling, they're like old friends.
Yeah.
Right? He and Paul are best friends, and so it makes it a little tougher decision of, can I turn my back on this man? In this one, there's the difference in the kidnappers are very different too. I felt like in this one, the kidnapper played by aspiring young rapper, Young Felon, just didn't have enough teeth to him. In the original, the kidnapper was desperate and was doing things to take out his conspirators along the way, which would make it a lot more terrifying. But in New York City, this New York City looks very different than the Yokohama of 1950s Japan. So this is very much a Spike Lee New York City movie.
It looks very different from Caught Stealing.
Yes, it does. Yeah.
Like the complete opposite. Well, I mean, to me, this was a movie that Spike Lee did to pay tribute and honor the things that he loves. I mean, he loves New York.
Yes.
I mean,
we know that.
That great opening scene with the soaring panoramic shots of the New York skyline set to "Oh, What a Beautiful Morning."
Yeah, gorgeous.
I mean, that reminded me, if you remember Woody Allen's Manhattan and the opening scene there, black and white, all the shots of New York to George Gershwin's Rhapsody in Blue.
Yeah.
Just one of the all-time great opening scenes. I loved it. And it shows his love of music. I mean, the orchestration and the soundtrack is great. The original score. Spike Lee always has a knack for picking the right songs for the right scene. There's a scene where Denzel Washington and Jeffrey Wright are in the car together, and they're on their way to a rendezvous that may turn out to not work out the way it should, and they've got James Brown's The Payback on the stereo.
Love that song so much.
You know, at one point in the movie, he's got Eddie Palmieri, the band leader who died just recently. He's featured in the film. And it shows his love of other films. I read where one of his favorites is The French Connection.
Yeah, one of my favorites.
You see that in the subway scenes that are here.
Yeah.
Great performances. I thought Jeffrey Wright stole the show.
I mean, he's great in everything he does.
He needs to be given more lead roles.
He shouldn't just be the friend.
No. Of course, Denzel's Denzel.
Yeah.
I mean, he could read the phone book and turn in an Academy Award-winning performance. But what I really liked about Denzel's performance in this is that there were scenes where he's just sitting there trying to decide, what should I do? You know, do I pay the ransom? Do I hang on to the money for my record company? And you could just see the anguish that's on his face during those scenes.
He's incredible.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is really, the message is the kidnapper wants to bring down and humble the wealthy elite. It's a story about haves and have-nots. And I'm not a big proponent of remaking great movies. The original High and Low still holds up. It's a great movie. It's very dated. It's 1950s. But odds are there aren't a lot of folks that are going out and watching 1950s Kurosawa classics right now. So taking his films and giving them an update, bringing his ideas to a new audience, even though the product might pale in comparison, even still, I think it's a great use of taking a great movie and remaking it. And Kurosawa's movies have been remade many times and stolen many times, but I think this is a really good choice of a film to update. The only thing I will say, in The High and Low, the original, there were much fewer Boston Celtics slams than there were in this one. I took that to personal offense. It was you going out of his way to just slam the Celtics in various
fine
scenes.
with that.
Nick Turturro just yelling horrible things about Boston.
Well, there's some funny moments in this,
Yeah,
too.
there are.
I mean, there's a line about insurance from Jeffrey Wright that just cracked me up. And then speaking of insurance, the guy who plays Mayhem in the Allstate commercials plays one of the cops.
He's the jerk cop, right?
Yeah. I thought
Not
he was
so vaguely racist.
He was great.
Yeah.
The final quarter of the film I thought was a little weak, but...
He changed the ending to this, so I wasn't expecting it, because it felt like it was almost beat for beat off the original, tweaking things along the way, but then the ending was almost completely changed, which I kind of appreciate for anyone who's seen the first one. Okay. I don't think it's as good, though, but I enjoyed this movie. I did too. I like a good Spike Lee, Denzel team up. They need to make more movies together. It's surprising how few they've made. It's been so long since they made a movie together. So, what did you end up giving highest to lowest?
I gave it a very high 4 stars.
Very nice. Yeah. I gave it 3.5. That seems to be the score of the week for me. 3.5 stars for highest to lowest. Yeah. I enjoyed it. It's over on Apple TV, by the way, if you want to watch this. Streaming over on Apple TV. All right, let's move on to a movie that you got to go see. I sadly missed it.
You didn't go see this?
Oh, man, I tried.
Shame on you.
I was going to put this hat on and walk on in. I heard there was a derby thing going on, but what did you end up seeing?
Downton Abbey, the grand finale, directed by Simon Curtis. And it's the sequel to Downton Abbey, A New Era, which came out a couple of years ago, and it's the third and final film in the Downton Abbey franchise, which, if you don't know what Downton Abbey is, British historical drama TV series set in the early 20th century. First aired in the U.S. on PBS in 2011, ran for 52 episodes across 6 series. It's set in the fictional Yorkshire country estate of Downton Abbey between 1912 and 1926, depicting the lives of the aristocratic Crawley family. They're all right there, and they're domestic servants. Many of the original franchise's cast members who also appeared in the series and in the previous 2 films are back. Hugh Bonneville as Robert Crawley, the 7th Earl of Grantham, Elizabeth McGovern as Cora Crawley, his wife, Michelle Dockery as Lady Mary Talbot, the eldest daughter of the Granthams, and Jim Carter as Charles Carson, the former butler of the Crawley family. So I started watching Downton Abbey, not when it first came out, but a year ago when I was stuck sitting at home after my surgery, and I fell in love with it, loved it. And there's a lot going on in the new movie. The producers did kind of a neat thing. Before the movie started, they had a clip of Bonneville and Dockery coming out and appearing in, to briefly go over what happened in the last film.
Oh, okay.
They just said, hey, here's what happened in the last one. And then they go into the movie. And I've never seen that before. I thought that was
cool.
kind of neat.
Previously on.
Yeah. So here are some of the highlights of the grand finale. Mary's disgraced by society because she's just went through a divorce. Cora's brother Harold, played by Paul Giamatti, reveals that he squandered their late mother's fortune on poor investments. Robert's struggling with having to leave Downton and hand it over to Mary to manage. Lady Merton appoints Daisy and Mr. Carson to the County Fair Committee, much to the dismay of the committee chair. Daisy's getting ready to become the head of the Downton kitchen after Beryl retires. Jameson is wondering what the heck I'm talking about.
These are just names? I don't know what's going on.
But the fans know, and this movie is strictly for the fans. I saw this on an afternoon, weekday afternoon. There was a good crowd in the theater. They laughed. Some of them probably did what I did at the end. I cried. They applauded when it was over. I heard some of them say afterwards how much they enjoyed it. I agree. I mean, the producers, they were smart. They didn't veer at all from the formula that has made this show and this franchise a success. That was the right thing to do. The only thing that was missing, of course, was Maggie Smith, who died last year. The film does pay tribute to her and some others who died, not in real life, but in the show at the end of the movie. Now, if you haven't seen any of Downton before, you're probably not going to get anything out of watching this. This is not the place to start. I mean, if you want to, go right ahead. But it's not the place to start if you want to start getting into this. You have to start at the beginning, which I know Jameson is going to do immediately.
Rushing to it.
Immediately after the show.
Nothing else to do.
But it truly was a grand finale.
I love it.
Very sad to see it end.
That's great. I've never seen a second of the program. Don't check back if I've seen any next time.
You didn't see the NBC special on it this week?
I haven't seen anything. I saw somebody wearing a hat once. That's
My
all.
wife says, "What are you turning on?" And I said, "Downton Abbey special." And she said, "Oh, really?"
You two are adorable. What did you end up giving? Did you give a score for this?
4.5 stars.
There it is.
Yeah.
Nice. Strong.
My eyes are starting to well up even talking about it.
All right, well, let's get on to something much more heinous than that. I saw a movie. It is The Long Walk. It is based on a 1979 Stephen King novel from director Francis Lawrence. America is in a dystopia ruled by a totalitarian regime. In a bit of a Hunger Games, morale is supposedly boosted via a reality TV program where one teenage boy from each state is selected for the long walk. They must walk without an end in sight, no stopping. Each person must maintain a pace of 3 miles per hour. If they fall below that, they will be given 3 warnings and then quickly dispatched, thanks to the military who is riding alongside them. They are escorted by the military and led by the Major, who is played by Mark Hamill, who is phenomenal in this as a horrible bad guy.
I can't believe it.
With this gravelly voice. There's no finish line. The walk ends when there's only one man still surviving. The winner wins a cash prize, 1 granted wish, and fame for his exploits. Bonds form between some of them. led by Ray Garrity and Pete McAvries, played by Cooper Hoffman, who we know as Philip Seymour Hoffman's son, and David Johnson. They are numbers 47 and 23 is what they go by. Everyone has a number that hangs around their neck, and that's how we are kind of met with them. Ray and Pete are drawn to each other right away and tend to look out for each other, kind of finding common ground in their motivations. They also look out for others, particularly Arthur and Hank, number 6 and number 46, who form the Four Musketeers. And there are those who would, in this group, who would try to cause division. And as the grueling walk continues through the enduring days and nights without end, sanity is tested, endurance is tested. You witness some gruesome murders that for some are seen as a triumph because it increases their odds. For others, it's seen as a horrible thing. Most of the young men in this movie have at least one moment. And on this long walk, we learn about them, and we really have time to connect with some of them. And really helps you feel the sacrifice that some of them have to make as they go along then, because you do have a lot of time. There's not a lot of like big action. It's walking and talking. There's a character
getting killed.
Yes, there's a character, Stebbins, played by Garrett Waring. He has a late film character turn that I saw coming the minute we were met with him. That kind of felt like, okay, I've been waiting an hour and a half for this turn to go, but okay. The Major is always barking rah-rah motivational quotes, the kind of motivational quotes you would find on a poster that's hanging in an office cubicle. And a couple of characters fell into kind of stereotypical mode, but I really enjoyed this movie. I had one quibble with the ending that I can't really get into, but the very end of the movie I had a quibble with. I don't understand, but really the heart of it is the duo of Hoffman and Johnson, their connection, their support of each other, and literally carrying each other's burden at times made this film surprisingly impactful for me. And I think it's one of the better Stephen King adaptations.
Oh.
I think he's struggled to, a lot of his stories to movies don't quite work for me, and oftentimes I struggle with his horror films. And I feel that the stories that have humanity in them and the human condition are the ones that excel on the screen for me. This is one of those. And so I really enjoyed The Long Walk. And I'm surprised that they dug up one of his stories from 1979. They're still making new ones.
So is it walking the whole time in the country?
Walking down the road, just walking.
They don't walk through a town or anything?
There's a couple of small towns, because then you have people, the town folk out there watching. They got their lawn chairs. Here come the boys. And are these little kids going to have to witness somebody get shot in the head in front of them because he's slowed down for a reason, or he tried to make a run for it? How
does the kid from Wisconsin do?
Yeah, we don't really know where they're from, unfortunately.
I thought it was one from each state.
Yes, but we don't
You
really
don't know which state.
No,
Okay.
we're just told there's 50 of them, one from each state. Yeah. Cooper Hoffman looks like he could be from Wisconsin, though. He looks like he's corn-fed.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed this movie more than I thought I was going to. I thought I knew what it was going to be, and it actually had a lot more heart thanks to those two lead performances. And I gave The Long Walk this month's score du jour 3.5 stars.
Okay.
It's good. Go check it out. It's a bit gory, but there's a lot more to it than that. So check that out. All right. Speaking of films with very little gore to them, what's the last one we have this month?
Hey, we're going to talk about Spinal Tap 2, The End Continues, directed by Rob Reiner. It's the sequel to This Is Spinal Tap, which came out in 1984. Wow. The new movie features Christopher Guest, Michael McKean, and Harry Shearer reprising their roles as members of the fictional heavy metal band Spinal Tap, who are reuniting after 15 years for one final show. And Christopher Guest, he's Nigel Tufnell. He now runs a cheese and guitar shop. Michael McKean is David St. Hubbins. He lives in California. He writes music for a true crime podcast called The Trouble with Murder. Mm-hmm. He does on-hold phone music. Harry Shearer is the curator of the new Museum of Glue.
Sure.
And Rob Reiner's back as Marty DeBurgey, the documentarian, who's been unable to get any Hollywood work since making his first film. So Marty visits Hope Faith, who's the daughter of Spinal Tap's original manager, Ian Faith, who died in real life, I think. Yep. She finds out that she inherited a contract requiring Spinal Tap to play one more show. And there's apparently been a resurgence in the band's popularity because of a video that's out there of Garth Brooks and Trisha Yearwood doing the song Big Bottom. Marty works to get the band together. They agree to perform once more, but they need a drummer because all their other previous drummers mysteriously died.
11 of them.
Yeah. So they call Questlove, Chad Smith of the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Lars Ulrich of Metallica. They all turn it down. They say, we don't want to die.
Yep.
They bring in a drummer. Her name is Dee Dee Crockett, played by Valerie Franco. Man, she does a really decent job playing
she's a
the
real
drums.
drummer.
She's a real drummer, yeah. She's in a band I've never heard of, but she's really good. So when the original came out, I mean, the critics loved it. The commercial success was fairly modest. It developed kind of a cult following, and I guess this is a film that's been credited with kind of starting the mockumentary craze.
Yep.
This film, the original, was selected for preservation in the National Film Registry.
Yeah.
And I was 26 years old when this came out.
Wow.
You were probably just
I was 7 years old.
7 years old.
Yep. Did not see it in theaters. I was waiting for Indiana Jones to come out.
When I told my team at work before a meeting this week that I was going to see this, the youngsters on the team went, "What's Spinal Tap?"
Oh, no.
They had no clue. I mean, is it as good as the original? No, not even close. But I don't know, was it Rob Reiner's intent to try to make something as good as the first one? I think this, from what I've been able to ascertain, this movie would have been made earlier, but there was apparently a long legal fight over control of the movie.
Okay.
The actors claimed they weren't getting any of the profits from it.
Okay.
They finally settled it into 2021. Plus, Reiner is fairly deliberate. He doesn't make a lot of sequels to what he's done. But, it's funny. I enjoyed it, but it just sure looked to me like something was missing from this.
It was. I think the original was snappy and witty, and this one felt slow and old. It had a lot of familiar jokes. This movie was an hour 23, not even feature length.
Yeah.
And they had to add in clips from the original and extend out some jokes to fill an hour 23. And I felt that, like, this is 60 minutes of movie that you're stretching out. And it just, where the original was brilliant and original, this one felt just like an older guy who was in a very comfortable chair and wanted to tell you a story. And I felt like a lot of the new additions were forgettable characters, a lot of cameos that were brought in for whatever. I was more interested in, we are in an age right now where aging rockers that can no longer hit the notes or play the music are still out there taking people's money. And I wish they would have explored that idea of these guys are out there with all, you see videos of David Lee Roth out there can't sing anymore, all these musicians. I wish they would have explored that for some fresh content.
But these three, I mean, they were actually playing the instruments, aren't they?
Right, but here's also the other
they
thing.
actually sounded pretty
good. I
good.
didn't buy the idea, like they're talking to various rock stars in real life, and they're like, "Oh, Spinal Tap was so influential. Oh my God!" And I'm like, "This, I've seen Spinal Tap many times. That band was terrible. Nobody went to go see them, and when we play all their songs in this movie, most of them are horrible. Don't tell me, Elton John, that these guys are legendary."
That was the point, but that's the point of the film.
It's just funny that this is what we're trying.
I mean, I
trying
thought
to believe.
the scene with Paul McCartney was hilarious.
It is, but it felt like that was also kind of a one-note joke to me, and they let's make it a 6-minute scene. I love Christopher Guest. I wanted more of him. Like, every laugh I felt I had in here was him reacting to something going on. I love it. I don't know if I need to see Harry Shearer a whole lot longer. That guy looks like he's grown into a troll.
He's 81.
Oh my God!
The other guys are in their 70s.
He's like 181.
That was the makeup.
I walked out mildly content with this movie. I wasn't expecting a whole lot because the original is so groundbreaking. And this one, I didn't expect a lot. I laughed out loud at times. I was kind of expecting a dud. This was not a dud, but I don't think this will make a double feature for me. Like, I don't think I'm going to go, I want to watch Spinal Tap 1 and 2. I just don't see that happening.
Yeah, I mean, they would have been better off just throwing this right to streaming.
Exactly.
Yeah, and you know what I wish they would have done, and I was hoping, and it didn't happen. Remember in the first movie, they would have that gag where they would try to find the stage.
Oh, classic gag. Yeah, they're lost underneath the bowels of the stadium.
They kept getting lost. I thought, I was begging them, do this again here, and they didn't.
I mean, I liked the finale, the Stonehenge stuff. That's fine. Because You actually had the band together playing the music.
I thought
and
Elton John singing Stonehenge was fun.
Yeah, I mean, so that was fine. I don't know. I'm neither here nor there on this movie, but what did you end up giving the Spinal Tap to?
I gave it a generous 3 stars.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I settled on a 2.5, right down the middle. Just a slow curveball down the middle of the plate. I'm good. You know what else I watched, though, real quick? Without a review of it, I watched a couple of things this past week.
Okay.
I watched K-pop Demon Hunters.
Oh, did
which is
you
like
really?
the cultural phenomenon right now.
Your daughter made you watch that.
Great. It's really good. There's a
Are you
reason it's a
serious?
phenomenon. Yes. The animation, the music, I was amazed. I was dragged into
Do you
watching
have those
it.
songs in your head now?
I do. I was dragged into watching it, but my wife
this
and
is
I
like
were
the
on
big
board.
phenomenon
Yes,
now, isn't it?
yes.
Yeah.
It's really good, actually.
Okay, well, I'm not going to watch it.
I also watched AKA Charlie Sheen, the Charlie Sheen documentary.
I
highly recommend watching
Yeah, I
that.
watched the first part. I haven't watched the second
Yeah.
part.
Big recommend.
I'm just still thinking to myself, how is this guy still alive?
He says the same thing. Don't know how I'm still alive. Speaking of, wow, a horrible segue, someone who cannot say the same thing. Unfortunately, this week we lost screen legend Robert Redford, who passed away this week. One of the truly great, when you look up movie star,
Yeah.
I mean, his face is movie. Look at that. Look at
Yes,
that. Thank you,
yeah.
John, for putting that up. I mean,
Perfect.
that is the face of a movie star. Yeah, I mean, one of the best.
Yeah, he died on September 16th at the age of 89. One of my all-time favorite actors. I knew we were going to talk about this. I was trying to find a film of his that I didn't like, and I was really hard.
Yeah.
I was very hard pressed to find one. But as far as my all-time favorite Redford film, I mean, the obvious first choice for me is All the President's Men from 1976. I mean, one of the all-time great films on politics and journalism that resonates even more today. I mean, when I was a reporter at the radio station in Beaver Dam, obviously a much smaller market, there would be times I would get down on myself over the job I was doing, and I would watch that film for inspiration.
You'd be like, I'm Robert Redford.
And I remember seeing that in the theater when it first came out, and I remember walking out thinking that Redford and Dustin Hoffman were actually Bob Woodward and Carl Bernstein. They were that good.
It's one of the greats.
And
his catalog, though, is full of, that's one of the best movies ever made.
yes,
And part of it is he worked with great directors. He's like, you know what, I'm going to team up with Sidney Pollack and make 5 amazing movies that are all going to be nominated for Best Picture. He was great. I mean, I was trying to narrow down some of my favorite roles. I mean, Jeremiah Johnson is a movie that
that's
have
a good one. Yeah,
really special place
I saw
in
that
my
one in the
heart.
theater.
Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid,
Oh,
another
yeah.
one that I grew up watching a lot. Ones that I found recently, Three Doors of the Condor I watched recently. Love that movie. Of course, The Natural. I mean, that was one of the great sports movies, period.
Love it.
Right? But one that I actually watched in the last couple of years I'd never seen before, never even heard of, and I just stumbled on it, was The Great Waldo Pepper,
Okay.
where he's a failed flying ace
Yeah.
who comes back and goes on a barnstorming tour. I really enjoyed that. And my favorite television show of all time is Twilight Zone. And he has one where he's the charming Grim Reaper.
Yeah.
That's like, oh man, young Robert Redford comes to you and is like, it's time to go. Like, where do you want to go, man?
On the more obscure side, I would recommend a film that he did in 2005 called An Unfinished Life.
Oh yeah.
With he did that with Morgan Freeman and Jennifer Lopez.
Yep.
And great film. I think Lasse Hallström was the director on that.
Okay.
Great performance from him. Check it out. It's worth seeing.
Also, a late career movie that really showed the height of his abilities, All Is Lost, where he plays a fisherman who gets stranded at sea.
Yep.
He doesn't have any dialogue. The movie is a dialogue-free movie outside of one word, and it's all in his aging face. It's a phenomenal movie.
it's good. It's
Really good. So we miss the great Robert Redford. He was great until the end. Let's quickly take a look ahead at what is going to be on next month's slate. We are talking about a bunch of fun movies. We have a big, bold, beautiful journey. I'm going to stumble over that a couple times. We also have Him. Those are out as we are recording this. The Lost Bus, a movie on Apple TV,
Yes.
is that correct? Matthew McConaughey film. One Battle After Another, the new Paul Thomas Anderson, Leonardo DiCaprio team up, which I'm very excited for. We have The Rock in The Smashing Machine. We have Roofman, a movie starring the recently unretired Daniel Day-Lewis, directed by his son, Anna Monet, which I'm incredibly excited for. You know we're in Oscar awards season when we start talking about
The stuff's starting to
Daniel
come out.
Day-Lewis
Yeah.
movies. We have Black Phone 2. We have the new Luca Guadagnino movie, After the Hunt. There's also the John Candy documentary that people are getting very excited for. There's a lot going on, man, and it's only going to get more and more busy on the slate as we go. But those are movies that we will be talking about some, most, or all of those on next month's episode.
I'm going to have to retire to see all this stuff.
We also might have a special guest on next month's episode,
Yes.
so make sure to
Stay
tune in for
tuned.
that. We might have some little movie magic bringing us a special guest I'm very excited for. But until that time, my name is Jameson.
And I'm Steve.
Thanks for watching.